You must have heard Abraham Maslow, right? You must have heard his hierarchy of needs. The American psychologist Abraham Maslow observed that we have an inner drive to improve ourselves. He is famous for coining the phrase self actualization, which refers to the urges to develop our potential and to achieve our highest goals. Maslow uses the Jonah story from the Old Testament to illustrate a theory he calls the Jonah Complex, a syndrome where ambivalence about growth keeps people from becoming who they can be. Maslow observed that there are competing commitments full of fears of all kinds, which are preventing us from realizing our loftiest goals. Maslow states that we fear our highest possibilities. We are generally afraid to become that which we can glimpse in our most perfect moments, under the most perfect conditions, under conditions of great joy. We enjoy and even thrill to the godlike possibilities we see in ourselves in such peak moments, and yet we simultaneously shiver with weakness, awe, and fear before these very same possibilities. So often, we run away from the responsibilities dictated, or rather suggested by nature, by fate, even sometimes by accident, just as Jonah tried in vain to run away from his fate. It's the Jonah complex that allows us to underachieve and to settle for way less than is available to us. While we may have deep admiration for those who enjoy wonderful long term partnerships, there is likely to be ambivalence right alongside admiration. When we observe those who are delighting in their romantic partnerships, where both parties enjoy solid trust and are having lots of fun, we see that they are highly successful. If we are not a part of that special group, seeing this can fill us with discomfort, envy, jealousy, confusion, hatred of others, etc. Wondering what they have that we don't calls attention to the fact that those couples have likely worked long and hard to achieve that level of success. Observing our own tendency to settle for less than what we truly desire can enlarge that already strong sense of weakness, inadequacy, and defeat. We might make up stories in an attempt to soothe our discomfort, imagining that these happy couples are part of rare and lucky few, but that is just not the case. The Jonah complex is a widespread and pervasive phenomenon. When way too many people are willing to settle for less than is available. Some are habituated to it from their early life. Others don't feel worthy or deserving, and some people just don't want to work that hard to achieve a great and establishing kind of a relationship. The Jonah complex is the fear of success or fear of being one's best. This fear prevents self actualization or the realization of one's own potential. It is the fear of one's own greatness, the evasion of one's destiny, or the avoidance of exercising one's talents. As the fear of achieving a personal worst may serve to motivate personal growth, likewise, the fear of achieving a personal best may hinder our achievement. Although Abraham Maslow is credited for the term Jonah complex, it was originally suggested by Professor Frank Manuel. The name comes from story of the biblical prophet Jonah's evasion of his destiny to prophesy the destruction of Nineveh. Maslow states, so often we run away from responsibilities dictated by nature, just as Jonah tried in vain to run away from his fate. What are the causes of Jonah complex? Any dilemma, paradox, or challenge faced by an individual may trigger reactions related to the Jonah complex. These challenges may vary in degree and intensity. Such challenges may include career changes, beginning new stages in life, moving to new locations, interviews, and undertaking new interpersonal commitments like marriage. The crux of the Jonah complex distinguishes to the subject an inability to differentiate humility from self helplessness. Other causes include fear of sense of responsibility and work required that often attends recognizing one's own greatness, talents, and potential. A fear that an extraordinary life would be too much out of the ordinary and hence not acceptable to others, inciting xenophobic rejection. Fear by association of ability honed being heightened and elevated as subject to a traumatic unrelated event, complex, or memory. Fear of seeming arrogant, self-centered, or just extremely arrogant, difficulty envisioning oneself as a prominent or authoritative figure. These are some of the reasons why people are not able to get out of the Jonah complex. But what do we need to do to get out of it? We can commit to exploring our own shadow realms where some truths have been hidden from us. We can each set an enthusiastic intention to delve into the process of self discovery. Our capacity to hold large amounts of joy can be cultivated over time. We can recalibrate our happiness set point to a higher level of well being. Raising our set point impacts the success of the romantic partnership as well as our emotions, health, and longevity. Those who remember the Bible story of Jonah and the whale know that even though he tried to run away from his fate, the story ends well. Jonah spends time in the belly of the whale, which represents a contemplating time to delve into our unconscious. Once the whale spits him out on a dry land, Jonah finds a new path, one more enlightened than before. We can all choose a new path to emerge wiser, following our fate to evolve into the person we can be, with the sense of wholeness that allows for splendid relationships. Thank you so much for listening.